it is absolutely your time in the sun. So any question, any topic, any whatever you've got going on or whatever feels present to share, just trust it and we'll run with it. And then I will follow guidance on how to go about it if we should, reach up and have a direct chat with your higher self, or if we should talk about it a little bit, or if there's a healing we can do or some other something. I'll just follow the guidance that I feel from your higher self and mine and the collective, and we just create together.
Sounds good. So funnily enough, right, of course, what you just, we did that beautiful meditation about sometimes I forget exactly what you said, but this idea of like, it can feel like suffering, but inside is like this beautiful gift. That was my morning meditation with a friend of mine this morning, like the exact same essence of it. And of course, I'm in a phase of like, I feel like I'm yo-yoing between like feeling really positive and hopeful about my relationship. So for the rest of you on the call, I'm part of Cara's relationship alchemy group. So that's like the hot topic for me at the moment. And so like, and so like sometimes I feel super hopeful, and then I swing to like this, it almost feels like bipolar, where I'm just like, oh my God, like the world is falling in on me. So I would love to be able to consistently hold the hope of that Christmas present, even in those like really dark times, or like have them not be as dark, or I don't know, like just, it feels like something needs to go. So
that's so good. So good. I was having a conversation last night with my boyfriend, and I'd gotten together with a girlfriend for breakfast yesterday who is going through divorce. She just decided she's filing for divorce, and she and I were talking about relationships and challenges therein, and her and her partner had tried an open marriage, and it did not work out for them. So she and I were discussing all of that, and I was having kind of thought about that a little bit yesterday, and thinking about the long-term effects and the long-term, the things that happen in relationship. And I told my boyfriend last night, I have this feeling of right now, and we are in a really blissful place together right now. And I said, right now, I can actually grab a hold of excitement for working through the hardship for you and with you in the future. Like, I know that if we get a chance to have a relationship that lasts many years, there will be periods of time. Maybe they'll be short, maybe they'll be long, I don't know. Maybe it'll be really severe, maybe it'll be really minor, but there will be periods of time where it's challenging. And I actually was sitting in this place where I could feel excitement about working through that with him. I felt like, man, if there's somebody on this earth that I've got to work through some hard shit with, you're the one I want to do it with. But I could even almost feel excited because I am so aware that on the other side of that really hard stuff is where it gets even better. I said I also simultaneously feel fear. I'm not purely excited. I'm also totally scared because I've been through really some of those challenging times, and I can be both, right? I can hold that polarity in my system. And I think that part of what you are in is living that polarity, I think it's really, really, really amazing that you're finding moments of excitement, of hope, of dedication, of love, even when everything is in such shift and flux and growth and sort of like breaking through to the new.
Yeah.
How does that sit with you?
So I can appreciate the moments of hopefulness as well, because like when they come, it's like those little glimpses of clarity, like, oh, I get it now. Like, this is what we're in and this is where we're going, and this could be like the amazing possibility of everything. And you said something that it like jarred something with me, and I want to go back there. So give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's something about like the growth and the breaking through, and I think, so let me just pause that and go back to something else that you said before that, of like going through the really hard time. And it just reminded me, like, we've been through some, like, oh, I know you were saying like with your partner and the sort of the excitement for the hard time of recognizing he's the person I want to go through that hard time with. And I was like, could I say that about my husband? And then I realized, like, we've been through some really hard times, like, but it wasn't about us. It was about a business that we were creating. So like the focus was always on that external thing, not like our internal world. And so I'm just kind of like, I guess there was that like, oh, like what if we took that same energy, like for us, because we did a fucking good job with it on the external thing, you know, like, so I don't know, I'm just kind of like piecemealing that together.
I feel it with you. It's so good. That's the like key to it right there. So when it was something external, it was like you and him against the world, right? You and him against this big challenge. You and him against, like, we can together, side by side, we can achieve whatever this is. And maybe we don't. Maybe, like, it fails. But whatever. We're here and we're doing it. We're working our butts off. And then at the end, like, look, we were really successful. We made it through that really hard period. But when it's the two of you together, there's times where it feels like, yes, we're side by side, and then there's other times where it feels like it's you against me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you can take this like challenging period, this growth phase, maybe we can give it a name, and you can put it outside of you guys, and then you and he stand side by side facing this challenge, like. And maybe this is, you know, whatever you call it. Maybe it's a growth phase. Maybe it's the hardest year yet in your marriage. Maybe it's whatever it is. You know, in hindsight, we think about those things and we think, oh, wow, that was a really challenging time for us. But while we're in the middle of it, we just we lose the forest for the trees, you know?
Yeah.
We assume that what we're in is reality and is the only reality. And it's always been this way. That's like the big trick that, like, some of the challenges play on us, is they really, really like cloak you into thinking it's always been this way, it'll always be this way. And like, well, you kind of liked him pretty good yesterday. You know, like, this has been a tough year, but like just yesterday he like made you pancakes and you were like, oh, but you forget about that in the moment that this person's driving you insane, or it doesn't feel like there's a lot of hope, or whatever those moments are.
Yeah, that feels good.
Super good. And I think there's some things that you can grab a hold of, like a flag to wave, right? Like this, like the banner things to remember. So if you were running some kind of like crazy ultra marathon, maybe the people who were there as your cheering squad would have put banners, or they would have written in chalk on the road, like, you're halfway there, we're all rooting for you, or whatever. And I think there's some banners that you can put up for yourself that are like, we've been through hard shit before. We could do this together. We're both willing to try. Like, I know the heart of this person, regardless of everything else.
I was just writing that down. And it's so funny. I was just talking to my best friend earlier today. She just ran the New York City Marathon yesterday, and she had like a banner hanging on her window. So this is totally hitting home. Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, that's funny. Because I've never
that's where that's coming
run
from.
any kind of marathon before, nor have I ever thought about the fact that there would be banners. So that makes sense why that's coming out.
Yeah.
So what are the things, as you're in this marathon, and my sense is that you guys are getting pretty close to the finish line here, which, like,
I sure fucking hope so.
Yeah, I think so. And
I'm at mile 20, and I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. Yeah.
The ticking time bomb, like the blisters are big. So what are the banners that you would go out and put up for yourself, support yourself on the moments when it's crappy, knowing, like, this too shall pass, right? Because a lot of times what we do is when things get hard, then we beat ourselves up for the fact that it's hard, and then we just make it worse, or we prolong being in that place.
Cool.